Hey everyone, this is Kenny from Marathon Money. I have a special show for you guys. I'm with Vlad from the Traders Foundation, and I think his story and what he does is amazing. Definitely for the people in our my group chat that we talked about how we can just get from that $1,000 up to 100K and getting developing those skills with very minimal income. And I know a lot of people definitely in this society struggles that. And I think Vlad has a way to fill that gap and fill that need for a lot of people. So I'll let Vlad talk about it more.
What's up, Kenny? How are you? First off, I just want to thank you so much for having this show. I've watched a few episodes actually of it, and I could see you inspire a lot of people. So I'm generally like honored to be here.
Thank
And
you.
before we dive in, if I could ask just a quick favor from everybody, if you could just go in and give Kenny 5 stars on his podcast show on whatever platform you're on, simply just so he could give this out to as many people as possible, and leave a review. If you go there, you'll see I already left my review there. Just it's really inspiring, and I just want to see as many people to get it as possible. So that's all. But let's get into it.
Man, how did you start? And first of all, I want to say thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
But how do you start from corporate prison to trading freedom?
It
That's what
wasn't. Well,
is
it
that?
wasn't really. Yeah, I guess corporate prison. Yeah, I used to work for
Yeah,
a Fortune 500 telecommunications company. But
yeah.
when I first started originally, actually, it was pretty crazy. I worked as a director of training for about 21 years, and I traveled anywhere from Maine all the way down to Virginia, all of Northeast, and essentially, at one point in my life, it got to a point where it was just hard. I ended up getting burned out, got really sick, and I worked really hard, and I was making great money. I think I was making like $250,000 a year doing it. But at the same time, as I was doing it, it was almost like a negative because I had a lifestyle and I was used to it. And unfortunately, when a day came, I remember driving to work. I had to do a big presentation and I just got really, really dizzy. I honestly don't remember anything that happened that day. It was insane. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just know I went back to my car and didn't know what's wrong. I just thought I was dying. I don't know what was going on. And I just went home and I didn't come back to work for 4 months, I believe. And during those 4 months, I was just trying to figure out what was wrong with my health. But I couldn't make any money. I couldn't do anything. So they didn't pay me for it because apparently it was mental health issues. And what I've learned from that experience over time is that essentially, if you're not working, you're not making money. And nobody really cared
Wow.
about me that I'm going through things or anything like that. So it was really, really tough.
Because back then,
So
mental health issues wasn't really a thing back then. I mean, you could be going through
no, it was
something
not.
mentally. They didn't care. They didn't believe you to put it more better way. They wouldn't believe you. But
No, no, and I tried to explain to them what was going on because I would just literally get dizzy, and I would just come outside and I would just get this feeling of just I'm about to pass out, and it was really really horrific because you just live in a daze. But either way, my the biggest issue was that I had more stress upon more stress, considering the fact that it was just the money was not coming in, it was piling on, and I was having a baby. So during those
wow.
4 months, I wanted to make a change and I tried different things. But unfortunately, when you're so busy, there's not too much you could do to really make it work. But I tried. And over 4 months, guess what happened? I finally prevailed and I actually went back to work because I couldn't figure it out. And I think it was another year or two later, I dislocated my shoulder, I had surgery, and even during that time, they were saying how they couldn't pay me, and it was just this whole big fiasco. But during that time, I
Man,
realized, man, I got to make a change. And I tried a business before. I actually opened a sandwich shop, and 150K later in a loss Realized it wasn't a good idea to do both. But eventually, I discovered trading, and I tried trading many times in my life, multiple times. My issue was that no matter what I did, I would always lose, and mostly felt like I wasn't really smart at it. I tried day trading, I tried penny stocks, I tried. I even had like people trade for you. Eventually, took my money, but it was like all these different things I tried to do, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work for me. And what I've realized during that time is I just didn't want to learn it because I didn't really feel like I'm smart enough. I had my own, I was good at training, I was good at developing, but trading was just seemed like a big kind of thing. Like, oh my God. So because of that, I tried different shortcuts. Thought it was going to be, I don't need to learn it. I'll have somebody else set me stock signals and we're good. It's all good to go. And yeah, and I realized the hard way after losing thousands and thousands of dollars on each one of those things, it's not going to work. So finally, I did find somebody who said, hey, we have one-on-one coaching. I was ready. I knew I couldn't do it alone. I knew that. It was just not impossible. I needed a mentor. I liked the idea of someone holding me by the hand. And I took the next 3 to 6 months to really, really understand and build a foundation in my head and how it works, what it does. So whether I do stock picks now or it doesn't matter, what I know is I have my own foundation, my own knowledge. And it was hard to find because most traders are great. They're just not good trainers. They're just two different skill sets. And
100%. That is so right.
yeah.
They might
And
be
that's
great at trading, but they can't really teach you.
Yeah, and I never realized that. It's like what I realized. I talk to a lot of traders, and people say they're scammers and this, and I'm like, well, it works what they're doing. Their strategy works. Everything works. I can't do it. And when I talk to them, I realize these people are so good at it. They're like the gurus. They don't know. They think it's easy for everyone. They forgot that you used to suck at this, and you had to learn the basics.
And what's funny is like Michael Jordan has that problem. He's so good, he can't coach. And then when he had you remember the Charlotte Bobcats, like when he
Eight
owned like
wins.
yeah, when he owned the Charlotte Bobcats, he would go down to practice and coach the players, but he was so bad at it. It's like
Hmm.
he couldn't figure out why they don't understand this. You know what I mean? That's what you're really explaining here. It's like they when they trying to teach you, just like pretty much getting frustrated at you. It's like, yes, this is easy, just do it. It's like it's not, dude. There was a point of time where you were bad.
No, yeah, and that's what I realized. Yeah, it's like going back Charlotte Bobcats. That's a long time ago. But yes, essentially,
Took you
and
back.
it's funny you mentioned Michael Jordan. I do talk about his Gatorade commercial where he talks about failure. It's
Yeah.
like, I took this many shots in my life. I did this, I did that, and it's like I failed time and time again, and eventually I succeed. Well, say I guess he didn't explain that to the team, so it happens. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
No, no. Yeah, that's true. He's not a really good coach.
No, or a general manager either. But let's just stick to the Bulls, all right? Let's worry. Let's always. But
Yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah.
it's a
So,
very good
man,
analogy.
when did you start? When did you start becoming like? When did you start seeing progress once you decided to like buckle down?
When I so what happened was once I started learning it in the beginning, I started actually they gave me a course. This was a program that I don't know if they still exist. It was a long time. That's 2011. I started the program. It was a lot of reading, no videos back then. A lot of reading, a lot of these types of things. And what I've learned too is no matter how good of a course I was watching or reading, I always ended up with more questions. It's never like it's like, oh, got it. And it's like when I couldn't find somebody there, I didn't get it. So I would do the work, and I'm like, why am I not getting this? And I'm a perfectionist. I need to get it. I need to have a system in my head that this works. Once we got our training courses, once we had our one-on-ones, and I was able to talk to someone, that's when it started getting clear to me. We would spend an hour on a call. I would ask any questions. They see how my brain works, and then I started to pick it up. And it took me like about through 4 to 5 months really to say, hey, I could trade this on my own. But it was through that coaching that got me through that. It was being able to just ask anything, have the freedom, not feel judged, and just give me my trading plan. I need that based on what I'm learning, what works for me. That makes sense?
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. I love that because that's how I learn, and I try to tell people the same thing you tell. I think you need to take the time to actually learn what you're doing.
Hmm.
I talk to a lot of people that they start day trading and they don't understand why they're not making money, and
Yeah.
they swing trade, they don't understand why they're not making money, and they think it's a scam, and it's like it's really not a scam. You
Hmm.
don't have a foundation for anything, and what you're doing is you're picking off somebody else's idea, and you don't really have the full idea. You don't know his stop losses. You don't know why he's in the trade. You don't know why he's exiting the trade. You don't know what you're looking at, and but you're placing a trade based off somebody. Honestly, you don't even really know them psychologically,
Hmm. Yeah.
so it
And
makes it very hard to make money.
absolutely. And the other thing I realized too with this is, like you mentioned, day trading, swing trading. It was also the style of trading. I mean, they all make money if you know what you're doing. But when I was a busy professional at the time. I don't have time to sit in front of a screen. It was not something I could do. And that's when I realized for me, I needed something between like a long-term trade and a day trade. And I learned swing trading was like that perfect middle where you could put in a trade, doesn't take long, and you let it kind of compound in a day or two, sometimes a week, and losses weren't that bad because even if it went down a little bit, you had enough time to recuperate. So it was just a simpler way of doing it. Plus, we started doing some options, which a lot of people get like, oh my God, it's so scary. But when you really learn it, it's actually really safe if you know how to do it, if you know how to leverage properly. Again, it came down to somebody sitting there and explaining to me because when I came into it, I was skeptical. I was like, whoa, I know options are dangerous. I heard about this. I know somebody who lost everything. Yeah, they didn't get the education, they didn't build anything up. Of
Yes.
course, like so with that said, I mean, what I started realizing after I actually lost my job during COVID. So at that point, this was the coolest moment for me is, I did it for 21 years and you're making a lot. I've made money forever in that job, but everybody was concerned about me, my mom, everybody. And the reason was they thought I was going to get depressed. Like you lose this big job that this is all you've done. But I actually during that time I've been already compiling the trading concepts and things like that, and that's what I started doing during COVID, and I just continued. But I also lost my passion for the passion I had was teaching, developing, and that's when I decided, you know what? Why don't I do this and teach other hardworking professionals who don't have the time to just quit a job and day trade and do these things and teach them how to do it properly, doing it step by step, giving them the foundation one on one, hold them by the hand, and now we've done it with over 1,000 professionals. So it feels kind of cool.
Yeah, man. So how did you not like I can see like the teaching background and the
Hmm.
corporate training and stuff like that. And that
Yeah.
really you kind of like fuse that together. But I want to know how did you start really like learning to like, okay, I have a job and I
Yep.
need to like figure out how to build a style for myself and a foundation for myself that works. How did you
Yeah.
figure that out? What were the steps you took?
Oh, this is crazy story actually. So when I had my shoulder surgery, I was thinking I didn't think about trading because I've tried different, here and there, put a stock here, put a stock there. It's all gambling. I didn't even think about trading. That was not even in my conversation. And I actually talked to somebody about getting into real estate. And I called the company up and I was on a call with them and they're about investing long term, making, more of that type of income while still working and eventually leaving. And I talked to them, and it was like a 2 hour conversation. And the guy literally says that, you know what, man, I listened to what you said. I know what you have going on. Real estate will not be good for you. I'm like, is this guy supposed to sell me on real estate right now? And he said, and he was genuine, very genuine guy. He's like, look, we have multiple things. I know you called for real estate and I could give you real estate, but you will fail. You don't have the time. You're very intense guy. Like, I'm managing 415 people at the time. So it's just too much. And you're going to just put yourself back into the mental state you just got out of. So I was like, okay, cool. So
Yeah.
what do you recommend? And he gave me an analogy. He said, you know what? We do something called, I think he called it paper assets, which I guess was trading, but he basically
Yeah.
said, look, what we do is we teach you this style of trading that's a little bit more passive. I know you're used to trading being like this Wall Street kind of thing, but it's not, it doesn't have to be. And the good thing part about it, you don't need to invest in real estate. You don't need the time. You just need a certain amount of time to learn it first. Once you learn it, then you could continue doing it, and you don't have to deal with people. One of the things he said about real estate is you have to constantly deal with people. You have to, it goes based on someone else's really credit and someone else's situation, and it was just too much. He said, this is just numbers. If you could read patterns, if you could recognize patterns, even if you're not good at it, we'll teach you. This is a skill you could have for life. And it just, for me, it was like, wait, I could do it on my phone, click, 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 and continue my life. That was my in. I was like, I like it because I'm not quitting a $250,000 job. I guess I got fired from it, but I needed, that was my only answer. I couldn't do a sandwich shop again. I couldn't do a business. I couldn't do real estate. It had to be something that could be managed and still profitable consistently. It doesn't have to be $1 million in a month, but if I could make 8 to 10% a month consistently while still working, I'm good. And that compounds pretty quick.
Yeah, it does. Oh man, that's people don't understand compounding. Like you hit it on the nail. People do not understand compounding
Mhm.
very well. 8 to 10%. If you can do that consistently, you'll find yourself wealthy in 2 to 3 years. Like you'll
Yeah.
find yourself wealthy if you stay consistent. Don't try to go for home runs. Don't try to go for out of the park. You know what I mean? If you're consistent, compounding is like the eighth wonder of the world. But I do want to know, it's like, what is like your pattern recognition for what you're picking? Do you have stocks that you like? What exactly is your style like?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do more. So we do two different strategies. I believe in two different pieces to it, and one of them is obviously swing trading. And now, as far as the stocks, I don't like to stick to specific stocks, but I like to have liquid stocks. So anything above, let's just say 250-day moving day average, those type of things. And we pick stocks that are above 13 and 20-day moving day average. So it's really stocks that are really profitable and bounce off averages. So it's a lot easier to just catch the exact moments you could trade and just see the candle. Obviously certain patterns, as far as like the candle patterns, and they usually work out. Now that's the first strategy for you to build the account. What most of our clients do once they get to like the $25,000 range, we teach you how to sell spreads. So basically, you're collecting premiums off the market, and we do it in a safe way. So a lot of people want to collect 50, 60%. I just want 8 to 10%, which means a 93% chance of win every time. It literally tells you that, and when you trade, 93% chance of winning every single time. And people like that because if you could win 93% of the chances in casino, you'd go there more often. So it's
Hell yeah.
about being, but it's the truth. It's 93%. A lot of our clients
Good
never
book.
lost. I'm not saying you're not going to. I've lost a couple times now. I didn't lose in like 7 years. So I used to say I never lost, but I do take two losses. Now the key is it's 8 to 10%, maybe seven, maybe 12 max. We don't want big profits on that type of strategy. So it's two different strategies we run. They're low maintenance, high probability. We want people who are humble. Like that's the key. Don't try to win Lambo in 1 month. It's just you're not going to end up in Costa Rica in 1 month. But you're going to see great returns. So, and you mentioned the whole
Yeah,
compounding. So it's like
yeah,
people don't realize that. I always tell them, look, take a calculator and double a penny for 30 days. See what happens. If you did, that's an extreme case, but you make like $3 million or something. if you just double a penny every single day for 30 days, it's insane. But
Yeah.
people don't see that.
But no, people don't see that at all, and you got to show them, and you got to realize it does take time. It does take
Yeah,
time, and but once you figure it out, you can be consistent. Things will move forward for you. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
But man, we're getting to that point where they're coming to the show, coming to the end. But like, I do want to talk to you about what do you think about this market? What do you think about this economy? And does that play into what you guys do?
See, I love that question. And here's the thing: a lot of people ask that same question. I think every single student is like, "Well, what happens if the market goes down?" Well, if you look at just this overall market, there's a pattern. It goes down certain times, and it signals that whenever it goes down, that's when we buy. Because again, I use moving day averages. Recently, we just a couple days ago, we had a market go down. We called that on our community because again, it was showing that was too high, and now we all bought in today. Literally everybody, or Friday we got in because it's just constantly going up and down. Once in a while we'll see the drop, but again, we don't with swing trading. It doesn't matter if it goes up or down. Like people think it's like, like, oh, if it goes down you lose money 100%, but that's not the truth. It
That's not
doesn't.
the truth.
If you get that thought out of your head and you just take it like crayons. Look, up, down, up, down. If it goes down, you click here. If it goes up, does it really matter where the economy in this type of trading? I mean, it
Yeah,
could be
in this
other
stage.
reasons you want to worry about the economy, but I'm
Yeah,
saying for just the trading, I get concerned more if it doesn't go down because it's at that time you don't know what's good. Like, come on, we need to see a
yeah,
little sale here. That's the
yeah,
only time I'm like, and then we go,
yeah,
then we trade more like spreads and really, really far spreads. We go to like the point oh 0.07 delta if we, for
yeah. I
the
know what
ones
you
that,
mean. Yeah, option. Yeah, I know exactly.
yeah.
Oh
So
man,
but
dude,
everything's safe. That's why we have two strategies. One for that type of situation, but for anytime that happens,
yeah,
we're going hardcore in the swing trading because that's your time to make money.
yeah. That is your
You
time
know,
to make money. Definitely, definitely.
I also wanted to
No, it
Jenny.
just I wanted to know your approach. Sometimes there's a lot of things where people a lot of their trades is based on their economy, their
Yeah.
trading thesis and investment thesis is based on if this happens, that happens. This is where I can make
Hmm.
my money. Just want to know if that takes into what you guys do, and it seems like you guys got a pretty good like a solid foundation of how you guys do certain things and you guys don't over leverage yourself or put yourself in a position where your account gets blown and you take them once you get to 8-10%, you take your money.
Yeah, listen, our company is an A+ Better Business Bureau accredited. The reason we have that is we're very responsible. I'm not going to tell you to take any risks you shouldn't. You want to do it on your own, your prerogative, but yes, it is very, very stable. But as far as like the news and things like that, the way I look at it is if me and you could have a discussion, let's just say something's coming out, it's an argument. You may think it's going to go up. I may think it's going to go down. The minute that happens, it's subjective.
Yep.
So,
100
how,
100%.
what am I going to say? Like, it's a gamble. If
It's a
me and you
gamble.
can't really decide, I could maybe be a better sales guy and convince you that it's better, and you're like, all right, fine. It doesn't
But
make it any better.
that's a lot.
Hmm?
You're doing a lot at that point. You're doing a lot to just try to,
Yeah,
you don't it's subjective. You don't know where the market's going to go.
we go based on
Right.
human psychology. If it shows something, there's a reason that the market's been doing the same thing from the
Yo,
1800s. You could go in and look, just pull up a chart.
I
So
try
we just
to
go based on
human psychology. People don't understand. This is one of the things. Human psychology is such a big thing in trading. Such a big thing in
that.
trading.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
if you ever look back at like Black Monday,
Hmm.
the reason why they lost so much money was because somebody panicked and it caused somebody else to panic and they caused somebody else to panic and it caused
Yep.
somebody else to panic. That's really what Black Monday was all about. It was
Hmm.
not like the housing crisis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't that. It was literally somebody panicked and then it caused a domino effect of panic. It was all human psychology. That's all it was.
Yeah. And we tell people all the time, the way we look at it, no news is good news. So when you ask me about the stocks, which stocks do you choose? I choose the most liquid stocks possible because let's just take Bank of America, right? That's a liquid stock. It's pretty, known. Warren Buffett bought like $2 billion of it one time. It moved like 50 cents. You can't really manipulate those types of stocks, which is for huge, because at the end of the day, if these things start going down, like people don't realize, stocks take the stairs going up, elevator going down. So you want to be prepared for that, and you want to
Yeah,
try to stay away from the news that's going to
yeah,
mess that up. So
that
we
does.
look at news, we just see what to avoid, trade the ones that are boring. They just do the same thing over and over. That's us over there. That's us chilling.
Yeah. Well, man, Vlad, thank you so much for coming on. We got to get you on again, and we got to talk deeper into like trading foundation, human psychology of trading. That's one of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite topics, man. Just like getting how to get, you know, people. I believe when people start trading, definitely when they want to make money like fast, you kind of have to
yeah.
get them out of that mindset. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because I think that's the reason why people lose often, because it's like, no, I want to make the money tomorrow. And it's like, trust me, you want to learn this. You want to learn it. You want to
Yeah.
learn it the right way. So you have the ability to make money anytime.
Absolutely. And listen, I actually, if I wanted to tell you one thing too. I mean, I respect everything you do here. I did listen to about four of your episodes. I'll go and listen to more. You do provide a lot of value, and I wanted to kind of do the same thing for your guests here. I actually provide a little
Yeah.
gift, and I literally have
Yeah.
never. This is literally just for this show. It's not out anywhere. You can Google it all you want,
Yeah.
and I wanted to kind of prepare something for you. It's called the Trading Clarity System. It's something I basically give you access to that our $12,000 clients get. And what it
Okay.
is our swing trading strategy. We're going to give you the full thing. I have a PDF that
Okay.
gives you the whole strategy, literally step by step. If you follow it in the next 48 hours, you'll be able to do it. No issues.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be there. And also, I don't want to be a hypocrite because I literally just told you, well, if you learn something, you're gonna have more questions. So I wasn't gonna do this because a lot of my clients may not be happy. But again, I told them it's not gonna be for everybody. Just your show. What I'm gonna do is put them in our community. They'll
Yeah.
be able to go live with us,
Oh,
ask
cool.
any questions they want. They'll have a whole course there. So it's our community. We'll get, there's going to be a fee that's fully waived. All they got to do is go through you.
Yeah.
There's going to be a website probably like trader.foundation/Kenny.
Yeah.
Should be ready by the time the show comes out. And that's no charge at all for just your guests. So
Okay.
they'll be able to get the strategy, get
Yeah.
the,
That would be
get the whole
amazing.
vault. Yeah, it's called the Trader Mentorship Vault. Literally, the coaching course is in there, and then separately, I'll give you the strategy. So your listeners could really benefit with that.
Oh man, that would be amazing, man. Let's definitely start putting that together, guys. I'm gonna definitely get Vlad to give me that because that's awesome. That's awesome thing.
Yeah,
But I want to say thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Check out the Trader Foundation. I think he's doing something that's incredible. I think they're filling a gap, a need in the market where people do struggle like this who has a full-time job, but if you're willing to buckle down, give it the 3 6 months. I think you can do what Vlad is talking about. And peace.